My name is Maria Yarley and welcome to the very first video for the Elegant Economy Knits YouTube channel. Pretty excited about this. Yeah, I flew this idea up the flagpole on Instagram this week and it seemed like people were interested in the idea of a style vlog for knitters. So here we are. Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous. I guess it's my first video, so you kind of never know where to start, but I guess maybe a good place to start would be why I'm called Elegant Economy Knits. Let's see if I can get through this without getting the explanation confusing. I've actually tried to explain it a couple of times and it gets weird. Anyway, so it actually comes from the movie and book Cranford. I'm kind of well, I like a lot of kind of movies, but this is a BBC period drama, and it's not really a novel, or it's not based on well, it is a book, but it's more of like a series of vignettes about this town called Cranford that's primarily inhabited by women over a certain age, and none of them are married. They're either widows or were never married in the first place. So it's this quirky little town, and kind of one of the women who she's kind of in charge, I guess. She kind of coined this term elegant economy to refer to how they seem to like to get the best that they could without kind of sacrificing common sense, if that makes any sense at all. I guess the term specifically came up when she was talking to a guest about how they use a lot of candles at night to read, and that they always lived genteelly even when circumstances compelled them to simplicity, which I thought was just a sweet little phrase. And elegant economy, I don't know the assonance of it, is that the right, I don't think that's the word, alliteration? Okay. English people get on me for that, whichever it is. I don't know, it just sounded cool and it seemed to just kind of capture just how I think about life. I tend to, I'm very budget minded, not in a stingy way, just in I like to know how much things cost. I come from actually a finance background, finance and IT, so I like knowing the numbers. I like knowing how much I pay for things and why, and whether or not it's worth it, or if there's another way to do things. And I know women are like this in general anyway. We love to get the best bargain and all that, but it just captured kind of how I think about things. And so I became Elegant Economy. That I had a blog at the time. Well, I guess I still technically have a blog, but I was writing on my blog at the time. And then I guess it was a year later I started designing patterns and became Elegant Economy. Well, I think I was designs and I morphed. So I'm now officially Elegant Economy Knits, have been for a little bit now. And so here's my YouTube channel. All right, so the actual podcast, this isn't gonna be a podcast. This is not a podcast. This is an Elegant Economy YouTube channel, a style vlog, but it's specifically designed for knitters. So the format is going to be what I'm knitting, what I'm wearing, and we might talk a little about makeup, mostly because I've just gotten into makeup and I'm really excited about it. Not because I actually know anything about makeup. Let's be clear. If you want to know about makeup, there are other vloggers you should be watching. And I will probably link to them as I get inspired by them and I start having ideas and that sort of thing. So, so this is a very different take on the knitting podcast as we know it. So I hope you enjoy it. Please give me your thoughts and feedback. I bounced this ideas off of several knitters and everyone seemed pretty excited about it. So I really want to cover things that you're interested in, and just to have a sort of different conversation about knitting and how it fits into our actual wardrobes, and not just about technique and fit. There's a lot of things you can talk about with knitting, and I specifically want to kind of talk about how knitting works into our wardrobe. That's kind of my favorite part. I got really into that. Well, I've always been into that, but I felt like things really solidified and clicked for me when I was putting together my last photo shoot for date night, which we'll be talking about date night in the future. I want to actually show you those garments kind of in real life, as close to in real life as possible, right? This is a video, it's as close as you can get. While still being virtual. Real but virtual. Anyway, But when I was putting together that photo shoot, I just felt like things clicked. I was able to put together some outfits that were really, really fun. And it felt like I was able to put together the outfits that I'd always been meaning to wear, if that makes any sense. You know, every time I looked at a pattern or designed a pattern, I kind of had this romantic vision of how this outfit would work and where I'd wear it. And somehow those just never materialized. I don't know why. And then when I put together this photo shoot, it just all clicked. Every outfit was just gorgeous. I was so excited. And I guess the best part about putting together that photo shoot is that every single and you can look at all those patterns on Ravelry. I have tons of photography out there already. I'll link to those below. But if you get a chance to look at that photography, you'll just see that all of those models are actually my close friends, and those are all outfits that they would actually wear. I think it was pretty much all I could do to get a couple of those garments back from those women. They did not want them back, or they did not want to give them back. And they're not knitters, which was really fun for me to have produced, you know, designed some garments that non-knitters were really excited about wearing. So anyway, I just felt like the whole styling component of knitwear really clicked when I put those together. And the more I thought about it, the more I was like, oh, I'd really love to talk about styling more. So the more I thought about it, this kind of idea of a style vlog just evolved, and I'm just really excited to kick this off. So let's jump into it. So let's see what I'm knitting right now. So here, this is actually not women's fashion at all. This is my husband's. This is what I'm supposed to be knitting right now. This is huge. This is the Gramps cardigan by Tin Can Knits. But it might not look like any that you've seen. This is all 1x1 ribbing because I'm a masochist. No, actually, any knit one purl one pattern, I have actually figured out how to make my brain switch into that pattern, and like the knit one purl one is like all one move. So I actually, anything that's moss stitch or seed stitch, excuse me, I've gotten those confused before. Seed stitch and 1x1 ribbing are actually very natural. Excuse me, my bangs are everywhere. Very natural stitch patterns for me to work in. Anyway, this is mostly, so yes, this is the Tin Can Knits Gramps cardigan. I'm making it for my husband. I was supposed to make, my original goal was to have this finished for our anniversary, March 7th. I'm recording this on April 10th. I'm very sad about that. It is so close. The thing that's holding me up is one, I need to finish the sleeve, and I ran out of yarn 2 rows before I was done. So I need to touch some yarn and I'm doing tubular bind offs for everything. So that's of course like, I love the tubular bind off, which is this. So I said I wouldn't be talking about technique, but I am. Mostly because actually I feel like the finish work on my garments is really what makes it a crisp piece of more wardrobe. So I've actually been spending a lot of conscious energy trying to really round out my finishing skills, and specifically my bind offs that are going to be in public, if that makes sense. So like sleeve edges, or, you know, this is the bottom edge of the cardigan, you can see. So I'm trying to figure out my favorite way of binding off these sorts of edges. I really don't like, I'm really not a big fan of the surprisingly stretchy bind off. I know everyone loves it, but I think it looks kind of floppy and it's not very structured. It works great if you really need a super stretchy bind off and it's going to be hidden. I think it's a great bind off for that. So like the top of socks, those are going to be under your pants. You'll never notice them there, though I still do tubular bind off on my socks actually. It's a great bind off if you're not going to see it, in my opinion. But if you're going to see it, I'm kind of trying to figure out what my favorite bind off is for that. And in a 1x1 ribbing situation, the standard bind off, even if you bind off in pattern, is going to be a little, I just feel like it looks loose and not floppy, just irregular, and it just doesn't has that crisp, clean look. Sometimes it does. I guess it depends on what mood I'm in when I do it, but this one just looks so, it looks like I just bought it from the store, which there are times when you want it to look handcrafted. Like there are things you can do, you know, when you're handcrafting a garment that you can't do when you're mass producing something. But I do think there's some finishing things that they do when they mass produce things that just really give it that crisp look. So I think that this is one of them. Anyway, but the tubular bind off is very, well, it's basically the Kitchener stitch, which I love, but you kind of have to like be in the mood for it, and I haven't been there yet. Anyway, so I have the sleeve left to do on this, and then I have the shawl collar to do. And I am not going to be doing the collar that they have in there. They have it where the traditional method where you pick up the stitches all up here, around, and down. And I want to do one that's actually in parallel. So I want the ribbing to go this way, not this way. I want it to be vertical, not horizontal. Let's use real words. I basically started doing a knitted on shawl collar. I started at the top and wanted to go down and kind of do some decreases along the V-neck. And I wasn't liking the way it was attaching, so I'm still trying to think about how I'm going to do that. And it's probably going to involve I'll probably knit it and seam it on, which I'm less than enthusiastic about, but I think what I'll do is I'll like knit a portion, then seam it on, then kind of knit a little bit and keep seaming and kind of keep it going so that I make sure I have exactly the same number of rows as the sweater, as the front. Because that's kind of the nightmare I'm worried about, is that there will be a different number of rows. So I might just kind of knit a few rows, seam them, knit a few rows and seam them, and maybe that'll make it less of a headache in terms of making sure there's all the same number of everything in there. So anyway, that's what I'm supposed to be working on. I was feeling utterly inspired by it. It actually flew. Like, I got the entire top yoke, so the raglan yoke, and the body done. I want to say it only took me 2, maybe 3 weeks. The sleeves I've basically been working on for 2 months. The sleeves have been to this point for probably about a week, and I've been mulling over the shawl collar. So this is what I'm supposed to be working on, and I'm not feeling utterly inspired by it at the moment. So I started swatching another sweater. If you've been following me on Instagram, if you were part of Insta Knit Net last night, you saw a picture of this already, but naturally now it's blocked. Sorry, I've got a little bit of a glare. Isn't that pretty? So my favorite time to swatch is when I should be doing something else. Because it's not actually starting a new project if you're swatching, right? Haha, did not put my phone in airplane mode. And my mom called. So I lost my train of thought. Anyway, yes, this beautiful color is actually not what I will be making the sweater out of. This is the Pirouette Copper Corgis. I think this is, can't remember if this is her Savannah sock or her 100% merino, which I can't remember what that one is either. I will check and link below. But this is Pirouette. I believe she still has this in her shop. I know she had some when I was at the Fiber Frolic a couple of weeks ago. Anyway, so I will be actually making this out of a mint color, also a Copper Corgi color. And you should totally check her out. I love her solids. She just has great color sense when it comes to tonals. So I really, really enjoy her stuff. So anyway, this is a swatch for a summer sweater. I don't have a picture of it. I was shopping. I actually have a huge order from Forever 21 coming. Well, it's not huge. It's just that you can't not use it's like Knit Picks. You can't not do the $50 free shipping thing. If you buy $50, you get free shipping, right? So what was supposed to be a $25 order was totally a $50 order. Anyway, and I had a 15% off coupon and a bunch of other things. So there are many garments. It's not a huge order, but there are many items in this order. But when I was shopping on that for that order, I came across a raglan lace sweater. I thought it was really simple and basic. Cardigan, and I couldn't find a pattern for it. or anything really like it. So I kind of started swatching. You can see where I was kind of had an initial idea and then I didn't love it. It was too mesh. It was more mesh than I wanted. I wanted something that was kind of a ribbed-ish. Like I wanted some vertical, they're not stripes in the sense that they're colors, but I wanted some vertical columns of lace. So I ended up coming up with this. And I'm thinking it might be a new sweater design. I don't know. We'll see. I'm actually pretty excited about it. There may be charts on my computer already. We shall see. So that's what I've been knitting. Okay, so we talked about knitting. Let's talk about what I'm wearing, or more accurately, what I'm buying. I love spring, and this is kind of a fun time to start my, I keep wanting to call it a podcast because that's what most knitters call their video production, my vlog. But I love spring because it's just so, I don't know, I just feel so inspired fashion-wise. Some of my favorite colors. I don't know, I love September too because that's when you get to pull out all your new knitwear, whatever you're working on. I don't know, spring's the last. Who doesn't like spring? So today at Target, Mommy bought a few things. So my favorite color to wear in the spring, and this is my third year buying a ton of it, is mint. So I got this shirt with flamingos on it, and by the time I used all my Target-y wonderfulness, my cartwheel, my red card, and we're piloting a new program called Red Perks, I was able to get this puppy for $7.50, I think. So I really love, last year I got a bunch of t-shirts from Urban Outfitters. They have just gorgeous, fun t-shirts. I got one with macarons all over it last year. That my kids, it's their favorite one. They like to look at all the colors of all the different cookies. But anyway, this kind of felt like an Urban Outfitters type shirt, or t-shirt, basic t-shirt. But you should check out, I haven't checked them this year, but last year they had a 2 for $30 deal, so you could get some really cute, nice t-shirts for pretty inexpensive. So anyway, I was really excited about this. I was a sucker for buying this one because I just bought a romper for my oldest daughter, Elsie. I have twins, and then who just turned 3, and then I have a 16-month-old. And I just bought a romper for my oldest daughter, Elsie, that's kind of a mint color. It's a different mint, but it's got pink flamingos on it too. So I was like, oh, mommy daughter matching, must have. So totally bought this. And then the other thing, I've been eyeing these for a couple of weeks, and the website said these were out of stock, but I found them at my store. I just love beautiful, colorful prints, because you can, if they've got enough colors in them, and if you like enough of those colors, they essentially act as a neutral because they go with everything. And they pull all those colors together. So that big haul I mentioned at Forever 20 that I'm getting from Forever 21, I think all the basic tees I got, which they were $3.90 a piece. You can't beat that. We'll go with these. They're all kind of, I think everything I got was kind of dusty pastels, and this is just full of gorgeous dusty pastels. Yet without being, see, I'm taking a little bit of issue with the current trend of, that kind of hipster trend of like those jersey fabrics that look really old. I'm sorry, I have too many memories of wearing stuff that was too old. You know, like, I don't know, it felt very 90s and not in a good way. Is there anything good about the 90s fashion-wise? Let me know. If you have a good fond memories of 90s fashion, let me know. I don't have many of them. So I don't like the dusty, like, worn out. I like distressed. I don't like worn out not knitwear, like jersey fabric. I'm not a big fan of that unless it's done really well. This kind of had the feel of some of those florals without being obnoxiously worn out. You know what I mean? So I'm very excited about this. So that's my fashion haul for the week. I'll probably be just my Forever 21 order is supposed to come next week, so I'll talk about that then. I also just wanted to highlight my favorite makeup this week. Again, I am not a makeup anything of any note whatsoever. If you are looking for makeup advice or inspiration or tutorials, there are a lot of other vloggers. I'll link below some of the people I've been watching recently just to kind of I'm very new to the makeup world, so let's just be clear. But I just found out about this brand ColourPop, and I think they are a new brand. And I went in on an order with a friend, which is silly. I really was trying to be cheap because you can, it's $30 and then you get free shipping. So, but I wasn't willing to spend all of $30. I think I got 3 or 4 things. So anyway, I got this color, Meow. It's this wonderful tie-dye, like shimmery gray, purple, and pink. I've kind of mixed it all up, and I just love it. This one I can just throw on. I'm currently wearing it with some purple shades from my Lorac Pro palette, but I can wear this by itself, and that's a really nice, it's got glitter and everything, so it looks super like pulled together and well done while being a really easy easy eyeshadow. Let's see, while talking about eyeshadow, I've also discovered e.l.f.'s smudge pots. I think these are new too. Again, I don't know what I'm talking about makeup-wise. These are just my favorites this week. But I've been putting on this on top of my primer, and it has been locking my eyeshadow in place. So my eyeshadow looks the same by the end of the day as it does when I do it. Well, not quite, but very, very close. So I've been really happy with that because I don't really have a lot of time for touch-ups. That's just not my life. And then, this is another part of my ColourPop haul. I got, like I said, and by haul, that is a little bit of an exaggeration. I only got 4 things. And I'll talk about the others when I wear them. Right now I'm not wearing them. But the lip color I'm wearing right now is an Estee Lauder lip color, Pure Color. I don't even know if they make this anymore. I think a friend gave this to me a couple of years ago, and I love this color. It's their Pink Parfait. And do I have it swatched? I swatched a couple things before I started here. But it's that pink there. And then I'm using the ColourPop liner. I think this is the Bound color here. And I thought these would go a little better. You know, as we all know, you shouldn't shop for colors on the internet. But these are only $5 a piece. ColourPop is really, really affordable. So I just grabbed it and then I blended it a little bit because they are such a stark difference, and I actually really like the effect. So that's the lip I'm wearing. So these have been kind of some of my favorites this week. So that's everything. We talked about knitting, clothes, makeup. Those are kind of the big things I wanted to hit. So let me know what you think. This is my first video, and I'm a little nervous and would just love any feedback you have to give. So thanks for joining me, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.